So let's actually output this value to the log. So here I can just type in log dot I, and here I need to actually put in two double quotes, log with the capital letters, comma, integer numbers index 0 plus two double quotes in order to actually convert this value to a string value. So as you can see here, this value here, integer numbers index 0, is going to actually give me an integer number. Okay, so I need to convert that value to a string value, and here we are saying that give me the value that is inside of the index 0. So let's actually run our project and see what happens. So as you can see here, now our application is actually running, and here inside this log level section, choose info, and inside of this search bar, just type in here log with the capital letters. Okay, so as you can see here, we have this number 24 here. So let me actually make this log area wider. As you can see, this is our number 24. Okay, so this is the value that is inside of the index 0 of this array, of this integer numbers array. So let me actually output the value that is inside of the index 1. Okay, so I just need to type in here log.I, and then two double quotes, log, comma, integer numbers index, for example, 1. So let's actually run our project again. And here inside of this log, we can see the values. So as you can see here, it outputted number 0 to the log. Okay, so now we can understand that the indexes of array by default have the value 0 within them. Okay, because we didn't assign any value to the index number 1 of this integer numbers array, this index has actually of default value, which is 0 here, as you can see here. Okay, here let's actually assign a value to the index number 1 of this array, integer numbers number 1, assignment operator, and here I can actually assign, for example, number 50. Okay, and let's actually output this value to the log.I, log, comma, and here let's actually put in a string value. This is the value that is inside of the index 1 of integer numbers array. Okay, so let's actually put a plus operator here, and then let's actually refer to the name of this array, index number 1. So let's actually run our project again and see what happens. So as you can see here in the log, it says this is the value that is inside of the index 0 of integer numbers array 50. Okay, so here in line 26, we assigned number 50 to the index 1 of this array here, of this integer numbers array. And in line 28, we decided to output that value to the log. But in line 24, when we actually decided to output the value of the index 0 of this integer numbers array, here, because we didn't actually assign any value to the index 1 of this integer numbers array, the default value was 0. Okay, but in line 26, we assigned number 50 to the index 1 of this integer numbers array, and in line 28, we can see that value, number 50. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Let me actually comment out these lines of code here, because I want to show you another way of actually creating arrays in Java. This time, let's actually create an array of string values. So first, I need to actually refer to the name of the string class. Okay, first we need to specify the type of our array. Okay, so we're going to actually have an array of type string, and then we need to actually put in a pair of brackets. Okay, and here we need to actually specify a name for our array. So for example, string values. Okay, and here let me actually point out, you can actually put these brackets here after this array name. Okay, it doesn't make any difference if you want to create arrays. It depends on you if you want to put the brackets after the array name or after the. I personally prefer to put the brackets after the type. Okay, and this is also a preferred way to actually create an array. Okay, and then let's actually put in an assignment operator after our array name, and here instead of just typing new string brackets, and here we can actually specify the size of our array, for example 20. Okay, we can actually write this array, we can actually create this array in another way. We can put in an opening curly brace followed by a closing curly brace, and we can here specify the values of our array. Okay, for example, the value that is inside of the index 0 of this array would be, for example, animal, and the value that is inside of the index 1 of this array would be, for example, home. The value that is inside of the index number 2 of this array would be, for example, table, okay, and so on. And we can actually assign unlimited values to this array, okay. In this way, we are actually specifying the values of this array. You can actually create your array in this way, or you can actually create your arrays by using the new operator and then specify the size of your array, and later you can actually assign values to your array, okay, as I actually demonstrated that here. Okay, here we actually created an array of integer numbers, and here we specified the size of our array, and here we could actually assign some values to the indexes of that array. Okay, but here we are saying that in index 0 put the value animal, in index number 1 put the value home, and in the index number 2 put the value table. Okay, and we could actually iterate over the values of this array by just creating a for loop for int, okay, index assignment operator 0. So I actually created an integer number here, an integer value here, and I assign the value 0 to this variable, okay, index. And here I need to actually specify a condition until index is less than the values that are inside of this array. So remember, every array in Java knows its length, okay. So this array, as you can see here, knows how many values are inside of this array, okay. So when you create an array in Java, you are actually referring to a place in memory which that array is stored, okay. So here, this string values array is actually referring to a place in memory which these values are actually stored. So here, I can actually refer to the name of this array, string values dot length. So in this way, we are actually getting the number of values that are inside of this array, okay? And here, we can actually type in index plus plus, okay? And then we can actually open and close this for loop by using these curly braces. And inside of this for loop, we can just type in log dot I log, comma, and here, first of all, we can actually specify the index of our array. So index number colon plus index, okay, plus, and now we can actually specify the value that is inside of that index, okay. So here we can actually type in 2 double quotes, the value that is inside of colon that index colon plus index plus is plus, and here let's actually create a new line so that you can actually see what's going on here. String values, I need to actually put in a pair of brackets, and inside the brackets I can actually put in the index here. So I can actually get the value that is inside of that specific index. So let's actually run our project and see what happens. Okay, everyone, as you can see here in the log, it says index number 0, okay, the value that is inside of that index 0 is animal, okay. So here, as you can see, the value that we put inside of the index 0 of this string values array is animal, okay. And here it says index number 1, the value that is inside of that index 1 is home. So this is that value. And here again it says index number 2, the value that is inside of that index number 2 is table. And here you can see that value, okay. So hopefully that makes sense. And here let me actually show you another important point. So as you can see here, this array has 3 values inside it, okay. This means that the size of this array is 3, okay. So here, if I actually want to output the size of this array to the log, I can just type in log dot I log, comma, and here I can just refer to the name of this array, string values dot length, plus 2 double quotes in order to actually convert this value to a string value. So now let's actually comment out this for loop so that we can see those values better. So as you can see here in the log, it says log:3. And this means that the size of our string values array is 3. Okay, so this array, so the size of this array is 3. So we could actually assign only 3 values to this array. So let's actually output another value to the log.